These are the answers to the economics quiz that we did in class today. What is economics? The management of the production, distribution, and consumption of goods. C. 2. The store called It Should Be Sammy's Flowers is having a sale on flowers. This is an example of a positive incentive. All sales are positive incentives. The car assembly line is an example of division of labor. The reason for this is because each person has their own job of putting things together on the car. So the assembly line is an example of division of labor. 4. When no one wants to buy a snowmobile, factories that make snowmobiles will close. This causes people to lose their jobs. 5. Giving everyone a different job to do while making a car is called division of labor, just like we just talked about. 6. Adam rented 3 DVDs that were due back on Monday. He did not return the DVDs until Tuesday and was charged a fine for overdue rental. This is an example of a negative incentive. Negative incentive is when you have a penalty for doing something. What type of market economy does the United States have? The United States has a free market economy. How does the division of labor increase productivity? Workers learn one skill to do well quickly. Which level of government regulates imports from other countries? The federal. The federal government deals with other countries and they regulate imports. Sam wanted to go to the baseball game and he wanted to buy new shoes. It says Sam chose to go to the movies. It should say Sam chose to go to the baseball game. This is an example of opportunity cost. When Sam goes to the baseball game, he gives up buying new shoes. He can't afford to do both. So by going to the game, he's giving up the new shoes. The new shoes become the opportunity cost. Scarcity is a problem where wants are unlimited and resources are limited. This is where we talked about the Wii. The wants of people wanting to buy a Wii were unlimited when it first came out, but there weren't enough resources or weren't enough Wiis for everybody to get them. So the Wiis became scarce, such as scarcity. So wants are unlimited and resources are limited. Mrs. Rhodes is a teacher in the local school. She helps children learn. Mrs. Rhodes provides a service. It's something you can't touch or hold. Why is the library publicly owned? We had a little bit of trouble with this one, but we learned that when something is publicly owned, it's so that everyone can use it or has access to it. Which statement describes the role of a producer? People will make goods or provide services. A tornado in Iowa most likely destroy most of the corn crop. What will most likely happen to the price of corn? If people still want the corn, it'll go up. There'll be less corn available and the same amount of people want to buy it, so they'll be able to charge more. Prices will go up. 16. Josh wanted to buy a new DVD. Instead of buying the DVD at Blockbuster, he bought it at a discount store. What is most likely the reason John bought the DVD at the discount store? It's a lower price, plain and simple. Where does a community get the money to build roads? Communities get money from taxes. They use it to build roads, operate schools, and many other things. But tax money goes to build roads. What main role does the government play in the economy? It acts like a police officer to make sure the businesses follow the rules. John went to the store to buy should say his favorite Ben & Jerry's ice cream. When he arrived at the store, they were out of Ben & Jerry's, so John bought Dairy Queen instead. This is an example of substitute goods. You can substitute the Dairy Queen ice cream for the Ben & Jerry's. Fireworks usually cost more before the 4th of July because more people want them. When more people want something, the price usually goes up. Many goods that we buy in the United States are made in other countries because the other countries can make them cheaper. Bonnie makes $36,000 a year. She pays $6,000 a year in the federal government in taxes. What is this money? What would the federal government use this money for? The federal government is in charge of the armed forces, so a lot of this tax money would go to the armed forces to protect our country. 2 businesses that sell the same goods or service are in competition, just like Chevy and Ford or Coke and Pepsi. What is not a characteristic of a market economy? The best answer is prices of goods or services are set by the government. This is not true. The government does not set our prices. So this is not a characteristic of a market economy.